Elevensies with Lisa and Anton, and I guess
Skittle.
the late
For as long
morning
as she
show.
wants to stay.
And we are indeed fashionably late today for whatever reason the Tube of You did
so
not
weird.
want to play. It was like all blank.
It was
That
blank,
strange.
and a white line just kept going across the top.
It was like
It was
bizarre.
so strange.
So, yes, anyway, we persevered. We overcame, and here we are finally alive and live on the Tube of You. I see that. And the Book of Faith. So we're good. We finally got there. So, yes, good morning and welcome to Which Way Wednesday.
So
we talk about which is which and all that
which
sort of
which is which, and we thought we'd kind of try
sort
to
of witchy witchcraft things.
revisit a little something and add to it. Hello, Jonathan.
If you're watching this on the Tube of You, say hi.
Charlotte says hi.
Charlotte says hi, so it's good to know.
A while back, we talked about building relationships with deity.
Oh.
And we said that, you could certainly do that on your own, that you didn't need to work in a group, that you could be a solitary, you could be a dedicant, you didn't have to be an initiate, and that you could build a relationship with a particular god and goddess.
Mm.
And some of you might have remembered us saying, "Hi, Anita. Hi, Mike. Good morning, Charlotte," he says.
Good morning. He says good morning back. I think something wrong with Tube of You, because even though oh no, there you go. So I was going to say, I don't think notifications are working because nobody's joined us yet, but people are now joining us.
YouTube
so maybe
is
it's
being
working.
really weird today. Oh, Skittle, you're so cute and such a weasel.
She's one of Satan, I'm telling you.
So we had suggested that choosing a pantheon or a family was a good idea.
Kind of.
And that then building a relationship with one of the members of that family. And probably the example that we used is Caradwen.
Yes.
That we follow a Welsh Celtic pantheon.
That we do.
And that our closest relationship is with Caradwen.
Mm-hmm.
Although that we also are working to have a better kinship and understanding of the other deities in the pantheon.
Well, indeed, and
Right.
in Welsh mythology in general, all
Right.
that. Hello there, Alice. Thank you so much for joining us.
And then we talked about people that fall into the pitfalls of thinking that they have to petition a different god or goddess depending on what they're doing.
Who's good for health? Who's good for prosperity?
Right, like they might do a prayer to Lakshmi for wealth, and they might do a prayer to Hygeia for health, and they might do a prayer to Aphrodite or magic with Aphrodite for love.
Mm.
But they haven't ever built any relationship with those
A bit
deities.
mix and match, really,
Right?
isn't it?
And it's like kind of meeting somebody on the street and saying,
Give me $20.
yeah, or
what brilliant analogy! Just walk up to a random individual and say, "Can I have $20?
Can I have $20? Or you're a doctor. Can you give me a prescription?
Yes. Or can you hook me up with this?
Yeah.
Can you hook me up with this potential mate? Yeah.
So
slightly odd when you think about it, like
right.
that, isn't it?
So we just wanted to kind of revisit that a little bit and say, just pick one, because deity can make magic in any field, right? So certainly I would never, ever suggest that Caradwen could not help you with health, romance, finance, stability, spirituality, protection. I would think that Caradwen could help with any of those things. So, or, whatever deity it is that you're working with, just because Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity, it doesn't mean she isn't a goddess of compassion.
Indeed. I think the key here is relationship. And speaking of relationship and being in relationship with the land, I see Erin is saying hi, and she's sharing Celtic alike. You wouldn't believe. How's the fun going? Well, we're doing okay. We're starting to gain a little bit of traction. Thank you, everybody, and I think that includes you too. I don't want to name names here, but thank you for the donations. It really is Today, and
keep it going.
Yeah,
keep
we're
it
we're going to
going.
do a little plug, and then we'll come back to what we're talking about. Sorry, but you know us. We get tangential. Our tangents have tangents. So, and hello, Wendy. Thank you so much as well. Where we're at tonight, we're going to be doing our give back to the community, where we do free readings. Now, on the Tube of You, we've recently got ourselves where we can take super chats. So if you're like planning on joining us around 5:30 or whatever, tell your friends. Super chat would be wonderful, because that money will go into the Celtica Fund.
Right.
So if you've got you've got a cup of coffee burning a hole in your pocket, if that makes any sense.
One of our Leo friends, Barbara, has chosen the Church of the Eternal Circle for her birthday fundraiser. So I posted that onto the Awareness Shop's page. So if you go onto the Awareness Shop's Facebook page and you wanted to make a donation to Barbara's birthday fundraiser, that money is also going to Celtica. So
which
we're
is
really
fantastic. Yeah,
we're on a push.
We've got the bit between our teeth, as the saying goes now. Yeah, we're really giving it large. We've got so much more to do and a lot of networking necessary, and we're putting out feelers to get into the right people. And really, honestly, all this takes is the right people to know about it. Yeah. And that's all it takes, because there's nothing. All of you guys know we're preaching to the choir here. There's absolutely nothing amiss with our cause. It's not something that anybody would have any doubt. Oh God, why are you trying to do that? You're crazy, sort of thing.
Well, I think everybody some people do think we're crazy, but I think the majority of people also understand that we are who we say we are.
Right.
We've been doing the same thing for 28 years. We've tried to maintain a place of safety and spirituality for 28 years. And we've been self-employed running a business for 28 years. So there's no reason why we couldn't make a success of a place like Celtica.
Well, it's beyond us. It's more than us. This is so bloody important.
Oh, absolutely. We have not succeeded without.
We're in trouble. The earth is in trouble.
Right. And we haven't gotten as far as we are without the love of community.
Oh, without.
And I'm not belittling community by any stretch, no. So, but it's always who you know and not what you know.
Always.
Yesterday, Jeff Bezos gave away 2 checks to 2 different foundations for $100 million. 100 million, 2 of them. Does anybody out there know Jeff Bezos? All we need is 5 million. He wouldn't even miss it.
I think that's classed as a tip for him. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I can't conceptualize the amount of money that man has.
But it honestly always is who you know.
Yeah,
you've got to be able to get in front of the big guys.
Well, people with money.
Right.
It's really funny. There's such an irony here when you think about it. There's such an irony, because it's man's greed and avarice, mankind's greed and avarice that has got us to where we are now. And if we thought more about the value of things in their own right, not the value to me as a consumer, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in. So, but the irony is we need money to be able to start to address this. Yeah. So there you go. Erin's saying 2.22k followers. I think we might have hit that. I didn't get a chance to look this morning, but maybe so.
Yeah, YouTube wouldn't open up for whatever reason.
We're quietly getting on with it, but in the grand scheme of things, we need an awful lot more than that.
We need to stop being a well-kept secret.
We're such a well-kept secret. So thank you for sharing. Anyway, going sideways. Oh, and we've got some new people joining us. I've got to say hello to. So Pallavi, thank you for joining us this morning.
Like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, please do like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. And again, we're going to be doing our readings this evening. I think we're planning to start about 5:30. Is that
it's 5:30 to 6:30, and we always run a little over. But
and if you can find it in your heart to throw us a super chat while we're doing it, brilliant, because we'll put that in the Celtica Fund. That would be wonderful. Hello, Anita. Thank you. She said, "Fine,
she's
got us
left
on
Facebook
YouTube."
And come over there.
Well, thank you. Welcome to YouTube. It's the water's nicer over here.
Hey,
I don't know.
Anyway, meanwhile, back to Which Way Wednesday.
Yes, relationship.
So we had that preamble.
Yes, slightly about relationship.
About relationship with deity, yes.
And building a relationship. Yeah, and the way you put it, just walking up to somebody on the street and go, hey, give me $20. Or, I've got a problem with my knee, I need a prescription. You're a doctor, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Where's the relationship?
There are people who panhandle quite successfely.
There are.
They put out their sign, work for food, and, they get... Hi, Gina. We froze. I know this. It's been a really strange...
Weirdness going on today. I think we're doing all right.
And Angela says, good evening from boiling hot Britain. Yeah.
Oh.
It's warmer over there than it is here.
Yeah, my sister told me. She's in the north of England.
Yeah.
She told me, she said, it's hotter by us today than it is by you by 2
Yeah.
degrees centigrade.
And out Canada had minus 40 this winter. And in
Plus 40.
Edmonton... this is Celsius.
Yep.
Minus 40 in Edmonton over the winter and plus 40 now.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
plus 40 degrees
Celsius.
in
Celsius.
Alberta, in
Canada.
Alberta. Yeah.
And I don't know how many of you looked outside yesterday and saw the haze from the out west wildfires. Yeah.
You can smell it in the air.
Yeah, we had to work outdoors yesterday.
It struck me. I had to run and do a couple of errands later on in the day, and it struck me to see the setting sun. I mean, kind of profoundly beautiful with that red haze, but the brightness.
Scary.
It was like dim. And when the moon came up later, it was like dim, so dim, like 50% reduction in the brightness of the moon, I would suggest, by us. So there's an awful lot of,
and then floods all over the world,
Yeah, Pam saying the sun and the moon were pink. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
So, anyway, getting back into
to the
relationship
thing. Yes. We wanted to have the preamble about relationship with deity. And then we also wanted to talk about relationship with fellow witches, right? Because sometimes we enjoy being a solitary, and then other times we'd like to get involved with someone, someone that you could really trust, that the two of you could do magic on behalf of each other or for a common cause.
For sure, yeah.
And try to move forward. But choose your physical magical family even more wisely than you would choose your deity magical family. It would be great if you could find someone who follows the same deity. So when you're casting circle, you're not,
Your energies are harmonized, shall we say, rather than working against each other.
Or at least the same pantheon.
Well, that would be, a minimum, I would suggest.
And there are some red flags, if you are on someone's radar, meaning they recognize that you are working towards being a witch, or that you are a witch or Wiccan or whatever you're calling yourself, they know what you call yourself, and they approach you to work with you, and you bother her. She got her arm all stretched out.
Sorry.
And they approach you. See, you think she's cute too.
Only occasionally.
They approach you to work with you. Ask some questions.
That's about choosing a good teacher, isn't it? I mean, is it ask intelligent questions? You have a right to ask questions. You absolutely do. And there are some dead giveaways. I mean, we get people in that. We get people wander into the store sometimes who purport to be things they probably aren't.
Right.
To be honest.
People who call themselves lady, who certainly are not third-degree high priestesses.
Probably haven't got a degree.
They're not initiated
not
or
one.
whatever. People who claim, I'm running this coven. Okay. How can we help you with supplies?
What do you need?
What do you need? Because we do have, for people who have a list, let's say, to run a coven, we could supply them with the things they would need to do that.
We work with everybody. We try to help as many people as possible.
Where somebody who is just starting out may not need a scourge, but
True.
Somebody who wants to initiate people would be looking for a scourge. So
It's all getting kinky
we do
now,
have all different kinds of things.
Scourge.
But a scourge.
I'm English,
scourge,
I call it
okay.
scourge.
A whip.
As you wish.
And then there are people, when you ask questions, the blank look comes over their face. So if you're going to work with someone who's professing to be something they're not, you might not really learn much from them or even be able to work with them because they may make requests that seem odd.
There are those that prey upon the good auspices of others as well.
I mean,
so,
and some people
be wary, do your homework.
Some people put up a really good
facade?
Interview, let's say, or facade. I mean, we've had people that we were involved with for quite some time. An older gentleman who claimed to be an elder, that it took quite a while for us to get to the point where we realized he was not who
he claimed to be.
Yeah.
There were alarm
so there are
bells
people that can fool.
To be honest,
pardon.
There were alarm bells all along, but this is all part of our personal journey as we learn. The discernment is something you can only gain from experience.
And
it truly is. You discernment. How do you discern?
When you're at a certain level, you aren't going to talk about things until you get to that certain level, and then so our relationship was quite lengthy until we got to the point where we realized,
this ain't quite adding up.
This is this something not, and so it took us a while to recognize that this teacher or elder was really not who they claimed to be. And then much later on, we were able to talk with someone who could verify that we were correct, that this person was not part of that tradition.
Yeah, certainly didn't have the credentials he claimed to have, I think would be the way to describe that, yeah.
So,
but yeah, discernment.
So even a really experienced witch could get taken for a bit of a ride.
Could do, yeah.
Now that doesn't mean we didn't get anything out of the relationship, but the price paid for being duped was pretty high.
It was part of our journey. It was necessary.
But
it was necessary. It's there's a limit how forthcoming we want to be about this to everybody in viewer land.
The point of this isn't to try to slander anybody. The point of this is to try to get people to realize you're going to make mistakes.
I drop bricks all the time, every bloody day.
Try not to make them be big ones.
Yeah, do listen to your intuition.
Brenda Christensen says, yes, there are lots of Ed Fitches out there. That would be a perfect way to describe this person. Oof.
Yes, so we got lots of questions. So let me just play catch up on the questions. So the color of the moon and the sun was the smoke in the atmosphere. You could even smell it from the wildfires
in the west
out west that have been carried over by the prevailing air currents. So and we think we're probably suffering from a little bit of smoke inhalation.
Yeah, my allergies are
it's very, very poor air quality yesterday. There was. And you're right, yeah. Mother Earth is desperately trying to spit off this bloody infection that's doing her a great deal of harm right now.
The carbon-based.
But not everybody wishes to destroy the planet, I assure you. We'd like to align with the energies of those who want to, empower people to realize that it's the tiny little things that they do every day that make the monumental differences.
Right. Not throwing that plastic bottle into the trash, but put it in the recycling.
Toss your cigarette end out of a window. That's going to be there.
Choose things in the grocery store that have less packaging.
Yeah, buy them without packaging. Grow your own.
Yeah.
Let's
do whatever you can do towards working towards cleaning the environment.
So pick stuff up and don't throw it out the window. Just these little things will make big differences, and it's just that attitudinal change that we're trying to bring about. And the whole story of Celtica please go check it out, Celtica.org, if you're just joining us now. It will explain what we're trying to do. So, did he mean elder as in age? No, elder as in somebody who's earned the credentials and been through the mill. So this would be somebody who is.
Oh, I can explain.
Yeah. You know, they've gone the whole hog and they've sort of semi-retired now.
If you are in a tradition, meaning like Alexandrian, Gardnerian, Stuart, whatever tradition you're in.
Cabot Kent, I guess.
Cabot Kent. There's
an established tradition.
Penvax, an established tradition. You would be first degree, second degree, third degree, and after a period of time being third degree, where you wanted to kind of sit back and retire a bit from the pace of running a coven, you would become an elder. Now, for the female's journey, you would be the maiden, serving the mother of that coven, the witch mother. Hi, Amber. Then you would move on to be the mother or the high priestess of that coven. Once you had hived off 3 or more daughter covens, that's usually the number 3, you became the witch queen.
Yes.
So you were still the high priestess of your coven.
You'd still be running your own coven.
But you had now counsel 3 hived witches who were third degree running their own covens.
3 daughter covens,
Yeah, and then you would move into crone phase when you wanted to kind of retire. So you might appoint someone in your own coven to take that coven over as high priestess rather than hive them. And you would move into a place where you wouldn't necessarily have to attend every ritual or write every ritual or work as hard. So you become an elder. It's not necessarily retirement, because you're certainly there for counsel and to teach and to preserve the path, but you don't have to work as hard dealing with all the dramas and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they may be at a different level.
Yeah, the dramas are at a different level.
They're at a different level.
So we were approached, because we have a shop and we're out in the public view, we were approached by a gentleman who claimed to be a Gardnerian elder.
He did.
And, you know, for a while that worked really well until we got to the point where we realized probably not third degree. And then there was a while after that where we realized not quite sure he's second degree. And then, you know, we just, it was a very, very dramatic and emotionally terrible time for us to split from that situation. But we knew that we couldn't, it was untenable. And then much later, when we became friends with someone that we could kind of check it out, we realized that our gut was right. And it was confirmed that that person was not who they said they were.
So, discernment. But that was part of our journey.
That was part of our journey, part of our lesson, part of our experience.
Excuse me.
And, you know, part of our the wisdom that we have now. And that's part of what we're trying to impart upon people who are bothering to listen to us, that, you know...
Would you consider us wise? I don't know. I think we're just balmy tour guides.
Balmy tour guides. I love that. We're just balmy tour guides on the path. You know, we can tell you, pothole.
It's low branch, don't... Oh, too late.
Duck. Slow down here. Speed up here. You only have to be faster than the slowest person. But yeah, the point of Which Way Wednesday today is to get you to be discerning.
Discernment, yes.
You know, yes, absolutely. You could meet a soul buddy, someone who says, oh, look, both of these, you know, the goddess says, both of these people are working really hard to serve me. If I put them together, their journey will be that much easier. You could meet a soul buddy.
Happens all the time.
And it could be a fantastic connection.
Happens all the
Or
time.
you could meet someone on a crazy ego trip who thinks, oh, well, I could get them to pay for everything. and I could get them to do all the work and go research this and report back to me. And, so just be careful. But if you build a really good relationship with a deity, then your experience of meeting other people following that deity will probably be much better than if you just walked up to someone on the street and said, "Hey, can I have $20? You want to go do magic together?"
It's true. It's all about relationship. And one of the things that Terry Pratchett, Love and a Small Piece, is sad loss. He shuffled off this mortal coil way too soon, in my mind. But yes, you could certainly be a solitary practitioner, and there's no way we're saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be." Because, out of necessity, where you are, where you live, you may not have
connections.
There may be nothing there unless you start it, But more and more people are becoming spiritually aware. And so inevitably, I suppose we all start out generally as a solitary practitioner, But there comes a time when perhaps you realize that there can be more gained by learning order and structure and all that fun stuff, that there's good stuff there. Mankind passes on knowledge to each other. That's why we write books. That's why we read books. You can't get all the answers on TikTok. You can't get all the answers in a book. We know that. We wrote that in our book. There's an irony there. So yeah. If you get opportunity to get into working with a group, it can be a tremendously fulfilling thing. And I think what I was trying to say about Terry Pratchett is, well, I suppose you could teach yourself witchcraft, but both the student and the teacher would have to be exactly the right kind of person. And that's kind of a lot there when you think about it.
And any good teacher,
any
good teacher would give you the reason why, if they could. Right? In other words, this is how this is done. Why? If you were in a place where you could receive that information, they would tell you. If you're in a place where you still could not understand the why, they may not tell you, or it may not be of your rank, if you understand. But for the most part, a good teacher would explain why, explain the mechanism. Like we had said one time, anybody could go out and turn the key, or not even now, just start the car and drive, and they don't have to understand how the car works. Yeah. But any good teacher in the craft is going to try to explain to you how what they're doing works, which is the why of this. Why do I face east and call air?
What are the energies? What am I looking at? What am I looking to
what are the
recognize?
Underpinnings of this? Why does it matter that I cast a circle? They would explain these things to you.
Yeah, things like symbolism and symbology. These are hugely important. It's a language unto its own, symbolique, if you will. It's a language unto its own. You may not know what that symbol means, but the bloody symbol knows what it means. Right. So if you're using the wrong thing in the wrong the wrong thing in the wrong place, aren't some of these things available at Celtica? Yes, we're looking to do a lot of things at Celtica. An awful lot of things, and that's the card we had the other day. That's the self-same card. You just pulled it off the top. She just pulled the same card.
I pulled it out the middle.
You did? Okay, well.
Yep.
So our card of the day for today, discernment.
Mike says, I wonder why there aren't more men drawn to the craft. Always seems to be geared towards women.
Interesting that.
I do have an opinion about that, but I'm not sure you're going to like it, Mike.
Oh, come on.
Ego, I think.
Well,
because, that's all I'm going to say.
Not necessarily. I'm very drawn to the craft.
You are, yes, but you don't. Never mind.
Yeah, there has to be a very honoring of the divine feminine. Can be difficult for some guys, particularly, especially if they're, and forgive me, if they're. I don't notice things, tits, beer and NASCAR persuasion. They're not likely to be drawn to the craft. More likely we'll talk about motorsports or power tools or beer or whatever, the craft involves a great deal of personal introspection, which can be awkward for a lot of guys, to be honest. It can be, because we're trying to be strong like bull, and have, be
Brenda says Crowley complex. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
High magic. They tend, she's right, they tend to go more into high magic where they're in charge rather than the partnership end. Okay.
Blowing holes in walls.
Card of the day, we got to get on because we have appointments to keep today.
Yes. So there you go. We've got a multitude of things to do. So this card, which interesting, we're talking about.
The Judgment card came up either yesterday or the day before. I don't keep track. Anyway, and I pointed out the Red Cross that day.
Yes, which is the cross of St. George.
All right. So do you want me to go first? Or
I just said this is judgment, discernment.
Discernment. Well, yeah.
Good judgment comes from bad experiences. Yes. Bad experiences come from poor judgment.
So what I'm going to say about this card for your reading today is nobody ever notices that there's 7 little toots coming out of the horn.
I did.
And that's 1 for each chakra or 1 for each day of the week. So I think today's reading with this card is about slowing down and trying to look at all the perspectives before you make a decision. So sorry to the Libras out there because I know that they have a really hard time making choices and they're going to want to be slow anyway. But I think don't jump the gun today. Don't jump the gun today. Try to make it make sense before you make a decision.
Yeah, discernment, basically that. That's it. And realize it is necessary to get things wrong to learn. But if you continue to repeat the same actions and expect a different result, well, yeah, that's a form of psychosis.
Yeah.
So, poor judgment brings bad experiences, but, it's the bad experiences that
bring good judgment, better judgment.
We just talked about that. If you don't know, zoom back and have a listen, because that's how you learn.
Yep.
I love what people says. Many people, Pam says, many people don't want to live in their mind and their heart. That's very true. Yeah. Many people don't. They want to be somehow disconnected from the reality of their existence, which is
well, they live in the mundane. A lot of people prefer the mundane.
That's how come sports stars and rock stars and all that make bazillions of dollars, isn't it? This is the escape that people can escape from their reality. But
I'd rather go on the astral plane.
Oh man,
me
too.
Yeah.
Me too. But I love my reality. Yeah. I do. I relish every moment of even the shitty moments, because there's always something to be gained from the shitty moments. Maybe not right then, but if you can get the other side of it.
Why is this happening?
It's not again. But yeah, you'll figure it out. And I love what Wendy said, womb envy.
Womb envy, yeah.
Live long and
force,
prosper. Form. That's it. Took me ages to figure out how to do that as well.
All right.
So thank you so much for watching.
Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later. We have tons of box opening to do.
We do.
And then we have our Facebook Live, so we've got to get going.
We're going to take, I think we should take the Mevo and do it on the Mevo. I really do think so. So we'll figure something out.
I love the heart and mind. Yep,
absolutely.
All right.
Love you guys. Thank
later.
you so much for joining us. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and do join us later for our box openings, and later still for our
online.
Our free readings.